somewhere whose word is not for sale. History shows that our collective determination will help justice prevail. In 3, 2, 1. I don't care a bug if they hate me after I uncover the truth. The world needs a hope of sunshine, and the moment shall be mine. In these troublesome times. This is Troublesome Times. Unscripted, unedited, all done in one take. Because it's so easy, right? Since everyone else has a podcast, I might as well have one too. And throughout the day, I have done 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, 100 heel raises, and 100 quick beats. And it's funny because I was, in my last podcast, I was talking about how I was going to do the One Punch Man workout, and then I pretty much doubled down and went extra on the One Punch Man workout. So, this is a very interesting turn of events. Yeah, I know. So, I don't think I'm going to dwell on that too long on the One Punch Man workout thing, because I think whoever listens to it will probably have an idea. So, it's been kind of crazy because my metabolism has been kind of building up again, and I am pretty more quick on my feet, and also, I don't know if it's just I'm going to be showing my age, I mentioned this part, or it's a side effect of drinking too much water. But I also learned recently about the, what is called the whoosh effect, and I do not know, I cannot confirm or deny if that is what's happening to me, but, yeah, I remembered, like, when I figured throughout the halfway point of this One Punch Man workout, this whole trial run of a year, that I would, in the middle of the year, I would, but it was pretty early for most people, but it was like the middle of the year, I would actually see what would happen. And I guess for so many people, minds were blown, seeing the difference between what I looked like before the One Punch Man workout and after the One Punch Man workout. By the way, I added the last 2 workouts were actually added by me. But yeah, and it's kind of weird because, like, I guess when I know something, I'll go on and on and on and on about something. I should probably add like a disclaimer, like a footnote, like, I'm sorry, am I boring you? That's how I should be. Okay, so lots of crazy events happened. So I guess it's kind of weird. I know, a little weird, because I will say I did go to a concert that was very nearby my area. And I will say, well, I guess people are, well, it's kind of weird because I would, I don't know why. I was actually, okay, so I guess it's kind of obvious, like, if you, I don't know, if you decide to look at my local areas and see what events are playing, it's kind of funny because, like, a lot of stuff happens. It's actually wild how, like, right things happen, or how many hilarious hindsights happened. So, I really hope that Machine Gun Kelly ended up going to the local places, like, nearby, because the place where it was at the show, it was pretty awesome. And another thing too is that I love that the whole venue was so 420 friendly that you could smell it everywhere. And even, I don't know if, I'm pretty sure, like, Wiz Khalifa did actually got into a 420 friendly mode. And of course, there was one part, it's kind of weird, it's really weird while talking about this wild crossover event. And see, like, technically, it's not, I would say it's more like Team State, where I was at. And, I actually was surprised how like I thought there was gonna be more people on stage. I don't even think there was 10 people on stage during My Bloody Valentine. And would I have killed it? I don't know. I was pretty much there to have a very great time, and I'm pretty sure like I said, like it's kind of weird, like having this crossover moment become canon. And I will say, I mean, it was something to do, and I think like for me to really dislike music, to like I don't know. There's a lot of music I can stomach. There's a lot of things I can stomach. I have a very very strong stomach, so I will say I don't hate it at all. I will be like I guess for me to really not like music, I don't know why. I don't really like overly processed music too much. I don't know if it's really because I learned how to play the guitar and try to learn music or something like that. Um with a very amateur, I'm gonna say. So yeah, it was fun. I like when people do sound the same live as in recordings. I had a great time. So no, just your usual stars. I will gotta say we were pretty small, and I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of stuff floating around, but it's very nice when people think about these small towns, and they just come by and visit, and like it's pretty awesome. You can find a lot of cool stuff like around the not just the big cities. So I mean, I'd like to, like, I mean, Wiz Khalifa was another technically canon crossover moment for me. That was very awesome to see. I think people got emotional. I definitely got emotional. What I mean, what can I say? It's not that deep. It's just a concert I went to, and it's very fun seeing like people run around. I will have to say I do. It's very interesting. Like how the power, the magic of video editing. That's all I'm gonna say. So I will say I I actually think that um I guess maybe it was a bit cliche to say this, but I don't know. Something tells me that maybe like like the I say maybe it's not really that bad, and even if and maybe if I'm and I usually my gut feeling is very right about these sort of things. So I like to say I think you get your money's worth with when it comes to that. I really like got mad respect for people who go extra for like for people like just trying to give like a great, amazing, magical performance. So and it's kind of funny because the day after, I ended up buying three Monkey D. Luffy cosplay straw hats. Like I got three of them. I only meant to get two to compare and contrast, but then I went to FYE, which was near the MGK concert, Machine Gun Kelly concert, and I decided to bring it with me, and I was very lucky to still keep that hat, believe it or not. Um, but that's like that's not they're not worth that's not worth the energy to expand why, in my opinion. It's actually very wild. Like I like again very it was a miracle I still get to keep that last the hat I didn't buy. And it turns out it's actually the Netflix official merchandise. So if anybody wants to buy that same hat, it is too I mean you can. I was just looking to get an actual store that I still got to keep despite, having almost getting the hat getting rid of. Good thing I worn it. Um so what did I do with it? It's still with me, obviously, because the day, like I say, the day after, I compared the hats, and I will say it was very fun to do that because, well, I could say okay, I'll just say why. I guess some of you are kind of wondering why it took me this long to do it, and so I figured if you ever see that thing that went viral, I actually did, like, I never really got my own straw hat because it's kind of, it's interesting, right? It's so popular because of anime, but it's actually like an essential. So for my family background, some in my paternal side, my paternal side is a farmer family, and so I am technically, well, if you had to put it on paper, a farmer's grandchild. I remember being there. So I remembered being there in Mexico as a kid, and it's very fun being there. Like I didn't go to Mexico City and all that. I went to the actual like Mexico, and so seeing like seeing like all these cosplay hats is like it's like a huge contrast. It seriously looks like to me like the version of having like a kid's costume, which I know technically it is like those community theater play costumes that they make you wear, which is kind of weird because like I think when we did costumes when I was doing theater, like I'm pretty sure ours were pretty solid, and I made sure. I mean, I am a cosplay photographer. I was a cosplay photographer. I'd love to go back into that someday once I figure out like once I clear all this stuff out, and then I can figure out what fits me and what's not and all that stuff. But yeah, so yeah, I was like, believe it or not, I guess that's where my fashion sense comes from. So yeah, the costumes were pretty solid, and so I figured I'd rank like, what would most likely be a straw hat, like an authentic straw hat. So kind of boring, I know. So I guess that changes a lot of perspective about a lot of things about me. Like, God, and I'm sure a lot of people are surprised. Like, I don't rate like, oh, what do you think of this cosplayer and that cosplayer and the medium as well? Well, I mean, I don't really need. I mean, I swear, like, it's not that I don't hate talking about this certain person. It's just every time I seem to out openly, it seems like people always like try to run and put words in my mouth or things I wouldn't really dare to say. So to be honest with you, it's a straw hat. So I think it's like very interesting how, so yeah, it's very funny, right? How people thought they're doing their like anti-flex anime fan cred, and they don't even know what a real straw hat is like. So I guess that's kind of like, I guess I hope a lot of people did kind of like had an epiphany when I eventually revealed I do have some of knowledge about this, and my take is your flex was pretty much misguided because you don't know what kind of straw hat you're wearing. So right, so it's okay. Like, good thing I'm pretty. I like to think I'm very pretty nice when more than I should be. So it's okay. I really don't need it. I didn't really need to like really like I can make my own points by myself. I can make quality stuff by myself. I think it showed. I seriously would not. I did not see it coming. Just having like my own simple family background that for like just actually matter like that's the wildest part. Like I kind of still remembered like it went up, it's creeping up, and I'm just like screaming for one. Wow! Like I probably was all like Dragon Ball level, like whoa, like oh, I was just pretty surprised. So I also love that as soon as that went viral, all of a sudden I stopped being. Suddenly my points were suddenly addressed to me directly. So I don't. I. It's almost like, you know. I don't know. It's kind of one of the things about being one of those being like in the kind of you kind of. It's very telling. Like who like. It's just weird to me that people care more about what a bigger voice would say versus like what a normal person would say. I mean, it's like I say, it's just kind of weird because I'm probably the one that out of my family, the self-made online figure thing that actually is the most memorable I don't know if it's because I'm the most committed to it, most passionate about it, or because like the lore sticks more or something like that, or maybe mine's just stand out. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's bad. I just say mine's different. So yeah, that was interesting. Like it's pretty cool. Okay, so I guess I will like clear up the air about some things. Well, it's because you're probably wondering no, I mean me liking One Piece isn't really out of nowhere. It was I can't speak for everybody, but for me in particular, um, you know about your anime history or whatever animation history. One Piece was actually around the 2000s. It was very popular on TV, but it was a very different kind of show because of the localization they did. They tried to make it very kid friendly, and see, Japan's version of kid television is different from America's version of kids television. So that means, yeah, like I say, like Japan's version of kids cartoons is very different from our version of kids cartoons. So the one good thing that Funimation did, now a merger with Crunchyroll, is actually did the localization more accurate to the original. That doesn't mean that the anime is like as is superior to the manga. Maybe you should check it out. And of course, for me, I think like knowing the original source material actually enhances your experience. And I think it answers a lot of questions that a lot of visual mediums cannot really answer. So, yeah. So I actually watched it. I get really tired of explaining this part, like, but it is like, I mean, I'm sure if you watch a few of my videos, like I do explain how I got into anime or something like that. So I was into One Piece and I was a child, but it was a very different kind of One Piece. And so when I found out that One Piece is in its own original form in English, more accurate, more closer to that, I was actually very happy. It was like discovering a new One Piece. And so I always, like I say, I always like the idea of going on adventures, being a pirate, and all that stuff. And just like, the rags to riches success, the self-made pirate king, which I so believe is going to happen. That's how it's going to end. Monkey D. Luffy will be king. Another hot take I'm going to do. Let me see. I personally think, well, I mean, maybe I shouldn't do it like a hot take because I never know. Okay, and so then also what I did lately is watch another hilarious hindsight moment is watch Beetlejuice the musical, which was very close. And I'm gonna say, here's a weird thing for me. For one thing, I don't really mind not being able to watch the original actors perform. I actually don't. And here's the thing, I know I can go to Broadway to go see the musical with the original performers that night. But going through all the trouble to travel and shop and buy and cross traffic and find the seats just to watch a theatrical musical, I don't personally think it is worth going on a flight. Look, for people, I get it. Maybe if you were like in New Jersey, or if you were in Maine, or if you were in Connecticut, maybe I would get it. See, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I am from Florida. I'm an hour north from Miami. But here's the weird thing. You Northerners really love to come here. And so sometimes I think I can I hear enough that I can probably be like pass off as a Northerner. Maybe pass off as Canadian. What you talking about? So I really think so. So let me see. So people can start coming at and do like the southern accent, thinking it's so funny. And although mine gets mistaken for Valley Girl, oh, but I can't do the New York, the whatever, the no. I mean, I don't think I can do it that bad. I mean, just go to New York and just watch a Broadway show. I don't know. I personally don't think it's all that trouble. See, but if I go all New York style, I really think maybe I would, I don't know, probably get like, I don't know, just just roasted. I don't. Right. So I guess like I can be like, oh, ooh, oh, guess what? I guess it's interesting, right? So I can go. I guess you're probably thinking, right, Southerner can't really like enjoy the city life, right? It's just, can't be handle New York and a New York style pizza and a New York style hot dogs and New York style traffic and buildings and all that. I don't know. Yeah, I guess like for you guys, we're also like dirt road, cold beer, blue jeans. Right. Because I was like sorry that I don't live in a grand city where all the amazing stuff happens, and and I'll be lucky to even travel over there. But whatevs, right? It's okay. It's okay. So as I was saying, oh man, this was going somewhere. So the reason I can is because a lot of you guys love to come around here. I pretty much have very solid taste in Italian food because of it. There's only one Carrabba's around here, and it's all dwarfed by other Italian places. I have never. I don't eat Little Caesars, even though that's also everywhere, but that's no. That's a hard pass. Little Caesars for me. Hard pass on that Little Caesars pizza. And then I don't like there's a Chuck E. Cheese, but I don't think I've really been there like enough either. Cause we actually have something similar to that, and with better games too. We actually have a sweet deal, like unlimited gameplay around here. And then of course, what's the point when there's a Dave and Buster's? But okay, I kind of interested. Like I didn't when I went to. I think I only went there once or twice before. But yeah, anyway, I swear to God I was going somewhere. Yes, the Beetlejuice musical. Thanks, yeah. Thanks, Popcorn Machine Brain, for reminding me. The Beetlejuice musical, like I say, I get why people would want to go, but I think knowing that I'm about to say musical, I would rather just be in my area nearby and just watching that musical. And so I personally think that, if they can do a great job, I'll just enjoy it regardless. Another weird thing I don't really, for me, like, I don't really watch the bootleg versions, the recordings of the musical online, even like the websites there or whatever. Except for like official, that's different, but I would say that's because I don't think it would be the same actually going. So what I would do is I'll listen to the soundtrack, and then whenever I can, I'll actually watch the musical. And I will have to say, like, man, the Beetlejuice musical is so awesome. Like, I forgot how great, like, the soundtrack was. And the show makes it, like, so much better. And the only free time I had was opening night. And so it's funny because by the time this comes out, it's going to be long past that. But I remember like it was packed that day. And yeah, so I like to pack light, and going out in a blue dress, in a black dress, the nicest thing I probably have so far and maybe the most appropriate. And I get my little pocket-sized bag with my phone and whatever essentials I got. I open the bag for Brad to just inspect. And, he was super friendly. Like, no, you're all good. Or, I guess the more, like, of course, formal version was, that's okay. I'm like, okay. So, it was very awesome. And that's another thing. Like, no offense to people. Like, I get it. You want to have a good time. That's on. That's awesome. But me personally, if it's possible, I want to get the closest thing possible to have the best enjoyment. But if you're perfectly fine going anywhere that's not as close, that's awesome too. I did a balcony seat, but I don't think I'd ever do it again because I really it didn't feel the same. Just having to being in the middle and just maybe having a senpai notice me moment, which didn't happen for me with Beetlejuice, and kept calling out a guy my stage right. So that's fine. It was very awesome. I enjoyed it. I think some people, no, it was very silent. No, they didn't song, but it was a standing ovation by the time we left. So, man, I think it was so worth cutting my carbs that day. I really wanted ice cream, but I only had 20 minutes left and can't exactly eat in the theater, but it's okay. It was that music, that goal was so worth skipping ice cream that day. So, that's interesting, right? Okay, so feels like now, man, I really thought that by April, it seems like this era that I'm currently in is will finally be over. And truth be told, I really thought this was gonna be it. I'm sure there's plenty of crossover moments that are gonna happen. Probably more. That maybe I'll be right again into that. And it eventually hit me for like that. It seems like I'm never really gonna know like what is going to happen. And I don't know if I'm really gonna try to, because it feels like once it happens, I guess people do know it's just once like these crossover moments happen, they kind of like end and begin. And I have to say, I get this feeling now. I can't really tell when. Like I thought maybe okay, maybe it's eventually going to, but I don't. Now I can actually say I don't know. I and the thing is that I've tried everything. Like, but it seems like this is probably I will say I guess I will have to say like, I've tried everything to figure that out, but maybe some things are not worth meant figuring out and I just got to like let life hit me again. And I guess the truth is that I I don't really know what it's like. Well, I'm not gonna go on a soliloquy for too long about me. That's not right. It's kind of boring. But I will say I don't really know what is gonna happen. I feel like a lot of things. It's like been a self fulfilling prophecy for me, which is I have been improving in a way. I've been working myself in a way. I don't know. I need to know what it's like to be happy again. It seems like, when I've been happy again, and it feels like I've been wanting to get better, so I have been cleaning like a lot more, basically, not letting my dog Courage completely control the house, as in not making a mess everywhere. Um, I have been, as in like knocking over the trash, as in making sure she doesn't eat out of the trash. Maybe I should try padlock next. I don't know. I mean, somehow this dog has figured out how to knock over trash cans to the point where they're just completely broken and useless now. As in, completely broken in half. You wouldn't think with how small this dog is that she would know how to break metal giant trash cans, but she did it. I guess she she really is my dog, basically doing the gotcha on me. That's what I get. Oh, that here's the thing. My dog has never been wrong about like people. I think I can really trust my dog with something, and so I guess I gotta say, yeah, so I actually don't know what's really gonna happen, and maybe that's kind of the thing. Maybe I just cannot be, maybe I just can't be afraid of what people are gonna say about me and what people are gonna, assume about me and what people are going to just like, act like they know who I am and all that. And I personally don't think, like, we really know everything. I don't think I know everything. I mean, maybe we can try to know everything, but I think what you share on here is definitely a choice. Like, I know I've definitely have chosen to say things I want to say the way I say it, how I say it. Not that I mean, I've been very real, but, choosing what to be real about on my own terms, that's the choice I've made, is like, and then, right? So, like I say, I think eventually, when it comes, like, whatever all these gotchas are gonna happen, I don't, I'm definitely not gonna see it coming. And I I'm just thinking, like, I just kind of feel like, how did I get so lucky to have this privilege of being a self-made online figure with a voice that makes people, like, enjoy themselves and not be bored to death. I kind of wonder that myself. And then it's definitely a life adjustment, I got to say. And I don't know. I mean, well, I really do think that things, I think I'm gonna be all right. I mean, being, I don't know. Like, I think one day I'm just gonna look back, my mid 30s or something, and I'm just gonna think, huh. I wonder. Like, I kind of wonder how. Like, I really promised something to myself that, there's this sudden curse, the sudden thing called the 27 Club, and once I got too old for the 27 Club, because I'm convinced at this point, like, I'm just not, God doesn't want me to, as some people may, or like, somehow my body is really resilient for those that don't have a line with that. Um, I really think once I got too old, I would try to do a lot of things I'd want to do. A lot of it's related to animation and becoming an online figure or a successful one. Even if, like, if these videos and these shorts weren't becoming successful, I'd still do it. And so by the time I was in the current age I am, I figured, I do, like, try to work out and do fitness, really committed more than ever, get my health in the right direction. I will say one thing. I didn't really want to address it, but I remembered, like, reading this thing that apparently it's like, oh, I remembered we all wanted to join YouTube 15 years ago, and no, I was the only one that went through it. And reading that as me outside of these videos, and they're not realizing that there's me after all the suggestions I made, which is make social media, engage with social media, actually put effort in editing your videos, don't stick to more than one subject, and try to actually, like, quality check. Yeah, I do love reading the fact that apparently that's the narrative they want to stick to, right? It's not that I never had cold feet with the idea. It's just I didn't want to do it the way you did it. That's what it is. It just clashed. Okay, I wanted actual, like, thought and substance in my videos, even no matter how amateur they were. I wanted to try a variety of different things. I wanted to talk about the hard stuff, and I wanted to actually, like, make it like my conception, which it seems like these videos, and some of you actually are starting to do that, is make my original vision of an animation, and these videos are a concept of it. In fact, oh no, I can't reveal the next part I was about to say, because that's gonna, people are already starting to catch on what I'm working on. I'm using this extra time to work on this thing. Like, if this video was supposed to be scheduled for December around Christmas, this would be a lot. I wouldn't be putting a lot of, like, internal pressure on myself. But, no, I decided to do it on the scariest day of the month. Oh, no. I think I gave more of it away. So, yeah. I've been using this extra time to put a lot of thought into it because it is going to get a little more complex. And I just kind of wondered, well, yeah, sure. Those let's say, people know me across multiple social media. I don't reach out to people, and yet it's so rigged. So, really, like, what, did I really get cold feet, or did I just know how to make it work? So, yeah, I gave some feedback. You didn't want to take it. You stuck to your routine. And sure, whatever, like, yeah, engaging with people that you reached out to, making the same kind of videos that of a niche topic that not a lot of people can get engaged in. It's very difficult for a casual audience to digest and stomach. And so, yeah, I don't know what to say, because what can I say? Like, making assumptions about something without really knowing what's going on, that's very wild to me. Yeah, so, yeah, and another thing, I guess I will say, well, you know what, nah. I'm really sorry that I can't really, really feed. I'm not really, like, engaging with the whole, like, I'm not really engaging with this whole narratives that are, every time I try to find any value in, there's really none of it. It's just mindless slop at the end of it all. And then, of course, the real actual problematic stuff gets ignored. But I will say, yeah, no, if I get cold feet on this by now, yeah, it's definitely not gonna be a pretty, not gonna be a pretty, like, side. Not gonna, kind of would make me look pretty, shoot, like the whole, like, I really do cold feet up, but I am not. There's been so much deep diving I've been doing on this. I'm pretty exhausted. This character design of my avatar is proof of it. Courage just dancing on top of me, which is actually the story of my life. Just this dog just throwing herself at me. It's the best feeling ever until you need to do something important. But even then, you're just hesitant to really, like, throw, like, this dog off of you, or kaboosh. So, as I say, so, anyway. It's kind of weird. Why did I decide to do, like, a different change? Well, because it's been the same design for 3 years. Over 3 years. And so I'm thinking, why am I making this change? And I think, really, you can think about it, it's very important. And, just, like I say, if I give, like a bit of everything that I'm sharing, like a lot of people do, just so much of everything, and it's not going to do that wow factor that I'm really looking for. That's why I'm really not trying to give too much away, and I'm just thinking, what would I have wanted in this thing? So, oh my god, there's going to be a ton of follow-ups I gotta do. That's going to be so fun in my spare time, and I've given myself plenty of spare time to do. And so, yeah, I know, I'm sorry. Well, here's the thing. It would be very nice if it was like in those days where you have to try harder to get acknowledged, but it seems like somehow, like, this is the complete opposite, where, the opposite of acknowledge, barely acknowledge, passive acknowledge, is hyper aware. And I was very lucky to somehow not only be recommended something that's hyper aware, but then the hyper aware became aware. And so the thing is, it's like, no, like, don't get it twisted. But, you can't, I know everybody's excited to kind of know. I don't know why, but it's not, like, and I understand it. Like, excitement is adrenaline emotion, type of emotion, like adrenaline peak, adrenaline moment. But understand this, like, yeah, everybody kind of is excited. why can't we just all be excited at the same time? Isn't that kind of like the fun of this going to a theatrical, like musical or a concert or a movie, right? Just saying. So again, yeah, we're all excited. Am I excited? I have to like be the least excited in order to make you guys the most excited. Like I'm definitely one of those people where like I don't know, like it's weird. Like I think like for me, like for some people it's hard to like be serious. For me, what's harder for me to do, to be like very serious and stay serious, or to like be laughing and stop laughing? For me, it's very hard. Once I start laughing, and I know I got to be serious. For me, it's so hard to stop laughing at something I find really funny. And so when I do that real laugh, I kind of like have this like strange laugh. Like I got a lot of laughs, but mine's kind of like sounds like what has been described as a bunny, like a bunny noise. That's that's me just suddenly like being amused at the whole thing. But yes, so for me it's very hard to like, once I laugh about something I find really funny, it's very hard for me to stop laughing, and even though I gotta be. So me, like, my idea of trying not to laugh at something in someone's face for like seemingly no reason, because I'm thinking about something really funny. It's like I'm probably gonna be smiling for no reason. I think like what was the like a really great way for me to laugh at something? I will have to say like, I don't know. I get I don't know. I guess we'll say that, but then I think people are gonna like twist it. It seems like I guess like if I had my own TV tropes page, these would be the things that would definitely guarantee like a separate entry. Well, I mean, funny would be a good one, but I would say the three I would need for certain that needs its own section, other than funny, is hilarious hindsight, tearjerker, and radar. So, yeah, that's the thing. So most people can't stomach it. I, all I have to say is the reason is because, I'm at a, like I say, it's like, I know some people, they start talking about these adult topics, and I'm just like, and a lot of times people assume that I don't know what they're implying, but I do. And I'm just thinking, how are you guys able to discuss all that in the open? Like, and the worst part is I'm imagining all of it. I can imagine this so easily. So for me, I don't think it would be fun for you guys to imagine, and you guys would probably be a little concerned for me if I did. Knowing how I get this pattern of all this wild stuff that has, but again, that's not for this kind of audience friendly podcast intention. Anyway, so it's been almost an hour. I know, like it. So I hope that with all this time that I've given talking, that you have cleaned and or showered and or worked out. I don't know what purpose you need this podcast for, but I hope it helped you do whatever you got to do, which is certainly those top three things. So like I was thinking, I like to think big, right, for the future. So I was thinking if I did have like expert guests eventually come on here. Once I get lucky, it's only once a month, but once I get that lucky, I think like it was fun. It would be to actually meet like my favorite actors. Well, except my favorite actor, because of course, because eventually they just right. So I think as fun awesome it would be to actually go and just meet all of them. I don't know if that would be very practical for my kind, especially since I really have little to no budget at the moment. I think for now, I could do like the Zoom method, which is what a lot of people are doing. I believe that it would save a lot of trouble with travel and availability and accessibility. Yep. So, anyway, but that's for whenever this happens. I really don't. I mean, it's just a hobby, thank God. So I don't know if that's all it would ever be. Actually, I don't really know how a lot of them are doing it. Like being at this age range and just handling it. How? I kind of want to ask, how did you guys handle it? I've always had this kind of I always had this kind of exposure since I was a child, but that there's a difference between being underground, like known, and then being pretty well known. That seems to happen once you go into video format. I seriously feel like this has been like a self-fulfilling prophecy in a way, and so I'd honestly ask them, how do you guys deal with this? Uh, just like, what is it like? Do you guys know, like, ever like look back and think to yourself, wow, yeah, actually, what, like, I'd say what. I guess then I would also be asking, what happened? Are you okay? Are you well? And how could I be? So I really don't. I mean, I really don't know. Like, I wish could give you the answers to for how I'm feeling, but I think in order to let you guys know, I have to know myself in a way. And so it hasn't been that bad, just trying to, I don't know, go be like a little more extroverted. It's not easy. I mean, in a way, I kind of, if I knew I was gonna get to this point, maybe I would have done it when I was like 17, 19, 21, 25, 27. But it's okay. It better late than never, right? Um, I guess I gotta say, it's interesting that I feel like in about 5 to 10 years at this rate, I'm still gonna be here, like as a self-made online public figure, and the things I'm worrying about now, they're no longer gonna be present. Like the ones that bring in drama, and the ones that bring in like mindless slop, and the ones that they just try to use me as a shortcut. And I'm just thinking, it's the same as always. I'm gonna look back and go, yeah, I can't believe that used to really matter so much to me. And I think maybe I'm usually right about that kind of takes for me. So I can't wait to see what's gonna happen eventually. So if you haven't done this yet, don't forget your pet. Pet your pet. And that was easy. It, it's a it's a anyone can do a podcast, and I just did it again. So, all right, I'm just gonna set you guys free now. Stay safe until I see you guys again.